Self. Can you hear me, Janet?
Yeah, yes. You know, you can just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I get it. So, hi guys, my name is Pihoo. I'm from India, and I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from India, and right now I'm pursuing my master's in energy engineering from Italy. I've been included in a lot of teamworks, and I worked for a lot of NGOs, non-fundable organization that work for um, different goals. As I told you that I've been included in a lot of team, I think that this time I have a lot of experience how to handle the clashes that that just got introduced in a teamwork. And that's why this is really important because in a day-to-day life, we work with a lot of people, we work as a team. These days, it's not possible to work separately as a unique identity. You have to work as a team. So I'm going to introduce you with this thing. I think that this thing is already been introduced to you all, and you have already worked in a lot of team, but we are going to see a different perspective of a teamwork and the communication skills that are required for an efficient teamwork. So, shall I start, Janet? Or shall I wait for people?
No, please, you can go ahead. Other people will just catch up with us. Yes.
I'm going to share my screen. So, is it visible to all of you, my screen?
Yes, it's actually visible. You can just start the slideshow so that.
Okay. Yeah. So before starting my, wait a second. Okay. So before starting this session, I really want to make it more interactive. And for that, I want all of you to introduce yourself. Just tell me your name and where are you from. That's it. Do anyone want to take initiative?
I can go first.
Yeah, sure.
My name is Noma, and I'm from Zambia.
Noma.
Yes.
Nice
to meet you too.
And sorry, you can't see me. My camera is not working properly. My name is Miriam, and I'm from Zambia. Miriam.
Am I pronouncing it correctly, Miriam?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, nice to meet you, Miriam.
Nice to meet you too.
Is there anybody else?
Good evening. I just joined in. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Oh, you just have to introduce. You didn't skip a lot of part. It's just starting. Just tell us your name and where are you from?
Okay, thank you. Innocent Mwamba is my name. I'm a student.
Mwamba?
Yeah, Innocent Mwamba.
Innocent Mwamba. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a student currently pursuing medicine and surgery.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I'm from Zambia.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Innocent Mwamba.
Nice to meet you as well.
So he's next.
Okay.
Don't be shy, people. Just introduce yourself. It's going to be interactive. It's nothing like rocket science. It's just talking about day-to-day life and how the things work as a team. Just build a team here.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Tembo.
Benjamin. Nice to meet you, Benjamin.
Likewise.
I think there's some connection problem. I cannot hear you.
No, I think you just concluded. I just concluded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody else who wants to introduce him or herself? Okay. So I think everybody just introduced themselves. So let's start. So what do you think? What's a teamwork? Anybody who wants to answer that, what's a teamwork? In your day-to-day life, you come across the situation where you have to work as a team. So what's a team? Do anybody wants to answer? Yeah, in a sense. Do you want to answer?
Thank you. Just let me share the idea that I have. I think teamwork, this has to do with the group of people that work interdependently on each other, they work interdependently, depending on each other to achieve one common goal.
Yeah, you're right. Do anybody want to add in this? Okay, let me start this. So a teamwork is when you collaborate with different people. There are a lot of members in team and you collaborate with them for a common goal, as Innocent told us that we strive for the common goal. So the key word is common goal here, common goal. And why we do this? We can do this, we can perform the same task alone, but why we do this as a team? There should be some advantage of doing as a team instead of doing as a sole person. And the main advantage is that it increases the efficiency of the process. What is efficiency? What do you mean by it increase the efficiency of the procedure? It means that there are two categories in which we can establish that the efficiency has been increased. The first is the time. So if the procedure is finished before the deadline or on the deadline and it's not taking a lot of time, that means that the work is efficient. The second is when the procedure is value added. What do you mean by value added? So if a person is performing a task, for example, you have to construct a missile. This is impossible. You cannot construct a missile alone, but if the person is constructing a missile, so he can take like 3 or 4 years to complete it. And he will just be surrounded by his own mindset, his own knowledge, his own cultural and social knowledge that he has. And he can perform, he can make a missile that will be solely according to his own knowledge of perception, how he perceived to construct a missile. But when we talk about a team, there are a lot of people. There are many people from different countries. So they will add on their knowledge, their values, and the product that we get, the missile that we get, ultimately will be value added. It will be much more valuable as compared to if the person constructs a missile alone. So that's why we try to work as a team instead of working as a single person. Okay. What is happening? Give me a second. Yeah. Okay. So let me give you some examples of team. I think that you already have seen the examples of team all the time, but let's divide the team into two parts. The first is the informal team and the second is formal team. The informal team, the best example is your family. What is the common goal of a family? The common goal is to strive for education, their children education, to build their self, to build their relationship in a positive way, to build it, to construct it, to be stronger. And the third goal is to work for their personal development. So this is the goals of a family. That's why they unite and they work as a team. So if your father is busy on a meeting, then it's possible that your mother will take care of children and prepare meal. And if the mother is busy with it or with her office, then the father can do the same. The second is the very important example of a team, that's the sport team. So when we talk about sport team, the ultimate goal is to represent a whole country. A country is divided within state, within culture. Maybe I'm from India. We have diverse culture. We have different states. But when we talk about Indian team, Indian cricket team, it's actually presenting the whole country. It's not presenting just one state. So what the guide the guide of a team do, it makes a sense of unity in them. They don't see themselves as representing their own state, as representing their own culture. They see themselves as a unity, and they work for the same goal, that is to achieve, to win the medals for their own country, not for their state, not for their culture. So the goal is completely different for them when they work as a team instead of working as an individual. The third is scientific team. So these days, scientific inventions, they're not at all possible without if you work as a single person. You have to take help of team. So in this photo, as you can see that these students, they have built some kind of missile or a rocket. So if you want to construct a rocket, it just doesn't require the knowledge of a rocket. It requires the knowledge of finance. It requires the knowledge of IT to launch the rocket. It requires the knowledge of material science, that which material you're going to use for constructing the rocket. So it's the interdisciplinary. It's not just a few people that are from same background, that are mechanical engineer or IT engineer. No, they are interdisciplinary. So in this way, the team can be very diverse and they can be dispersed also. The third is corporate sector. We all know that how the business world works. So if we take example of a company, a software company, that is TCS, I think you all are aware of this company. So the TCS has a lot of offices that are based on USA, on UK, in India, in Africa. So it's actually in different countries, and they are working from different countries, working for the same goal. So all these people, they are different, their perception are different, their mentality is different, but they are striving for the same goal. So the key is the common goal. So how the team these days of this era is completely different from the team that was from previous generation. The previous generation, I would say maybe 100 year before or maybe 200 year before. So how is it different? So these days, the team is 4D team, 4 diamond team. The first is digital. So all of you know that digitalization is on boom. We are connected through Zoom meeting today. You're sitting in Zambia, some of you are sitting in Italy, and we are connected together through Zoom. And how the Zoom is working, it's digital. So if we go to the previous scenario of 100 year before, the data was so expensive and we didn't have these platforms like Zoom and Meet. So we are digitalized now. We are not working as the old team, as the team that was 100 year before, but we are completely different team just because of the digitalization. The second thing is disperse. So these are actually interrelated. The consequence of digitalization is dispersed. So why there are a lot of dispersion in team these days? I told you that in corporate sector, few people are working from different countries. So few are sitting in USA office, some are sitting in Africa, some are sitting in India, and they are all working for the same goal, striving for the same goal. How is it possible? They are dispersed. They are in different areas. They're sitting in completely different countries. And when we imagine the 100-year before scenario, it's not possible, because how you'll communicate in daily basis if you don't have a medium, and this digitalization has given us a medium to be dispersed and work as a team. The third is dynamic. So before, when we imagine a company that works for something like the production of some good, for example, so before there was a manager, and then there were employees that were working for those manager, and the communication was just one way, that is, the manager will give the instruction and the employees will work and give some fruitful result. So it was just a one-way communication, but these days it's very dynamic. The culture, it's in culture, it's a cultural norm that you have to communicate peer to peer. That doesn't mean that you cannot communicate to your manager. If you're unsatisfied with something, you can just go to your manager and talk to him. It's not like he will just stop you by doing this. It's in the culture. It has norms that you can just go to your heads or maybe to your colleagues and talk about anything. It doesn't require that the information flow can be related to work. It can be your personal information also. For example, these days colleagues talk about normal thing like did you watch the blockbuster film last night, so these kind of things. So this is the dynamic team working. The fourth important aspect is diverse. So what is diverse? Diverse is related to inclusivity. Diverse inclusivity. So we have different people from different culture. They are not just dispersed. It doesn't mean that that some people from USA they went to India and started working. No, the Indian people, the African people, they are actually participating. They are dispersed. They are from different culture. Their knowledge are different. Their education system is different. So they have completely different perception of society, of technical knowledge, of educational background. They're completely different. It's not like one of the country's people they get dispersed and started working in different country. No, they are from different culture, from different society. So that is diverse. So myths about team. When we think about making a team, for example, if you have given a task, a project of increasing the menstrual health awareness, so you will be looking for a person, you will be choosing the person according to their personality. So you'll be like, okay, let's make a team, but that person should be personality wise amazing, and the behavior that person should should have very great behavioral style. That person should be very knowledgeable. But these are completely myths. Even if the person doesn't have a good personality, he's an introvert, he's not very sociable person, it doesn't mean that he cannot be a key for a team. Maybe a team that consists of the people that are really very amazing in personality. So the first is personality, second is attitude, and the third is behavioral style. So if the person, if one team consists of people that are that have amazing personality, they know how to communicate, they are blessed with personality, and then their attitude is very positive, they think everything is like they are always positive in their views and their behavior to communicate with other people, to perceive things. They are amazing. They are like completely blessed with these personalities, with these things. So, and the second team have a balanced people, like few people, they are arrogant, but they are very knowledgeable. Few people, they are very humble, but they are not very technically sound. Few people, they don't know how to talk to people. And few people, they are blessed with all these things. So when we compare to these two teams, it is possible that the first team that only have people with all amazing things will have little efficiency, will be much less efficient as compared to the other team that has a mixture of these things. So we think that these things, personality, attitude, and behavior style of each team member is a pillar for a successful team, but it's not true. The truth is that the pillar is completely different. These things are influenced by something else. So if the person is arrogant, you can build his attitudes in a positive way by just working on those foundations that I'm just going to discuss after this. So now you know it's just a myth that we have to make a team only with the person who is knowledgeable and amazing in personality and attitude and behavioral style. You can choose people who really lack these things, but with these systematic approach that I'm going to discuss in afterward slides, you will see that these four pillars that I'm going to discuss, those are the things that actually influence these three things of each member. So now come to the reality. So the main are three pillars, but then we required a fourth pillar because even after implementing these three pillars, we were facing some problems. There were basically two problems. So let's dig in. First is compelling direction. I'll discuss about these things later on in my slides. So I'm just telling you that what these three pillars are, just to introduce you with these keywords. So the first is compelling direction. Second is strong structure. And third is supportive content. So even when we implement these pillars in a team, we found that there are two corrosive problems that is actually asking for a fourth pillar. These two problems are us versus them and incomplete information. I will tell you about these problems later on after discussing about those three pillars, but I'm just introducing you that these two problems come even we implemented those three pillars in the team. So what is the solution? How we can remove these two corrosive problem? And that's by introducing the fourth pillar, that is a shared mindset, a shared understanding. So we saw these keywords, and that's enough. Now we have to introduce one by one that what they are and how they work in changing the personality, attitude, and behavioral style of each member and how they strive for excellence. So the first is compelling direction. What is a compelling direction? As you can see from the photo, from the picture, there's a goal and the manager is directing the team that you have to insert the key inside the keyhole and they are working as a team. And the goal is explicit that you have to put this key, the particular key, inside the particular keyhole. It's not implicit. It's explicitly defined, it's clear, it's concise, and it's known to everybody. So everybody's included. So this is compelling direction. That's the main goal of our team that we are talking about from the very beginning, that we have a common goal for which we have to strive. And this common goal is called compelling direction. So a clear, explicit goal that energizes. So why we need a goal? Why we cannot just cannot form a random team and start working randomly? Because if we have a goal, like I have a goal that I have to achieve great marks in my exam, so I will study hard. I will study hard in that particular course. So I will have every information, and I will have a concise, clear, explicitly defined goal that I have to achieve good grades in my this particular examination. So it will make me more motivated, it will keep me energized, and it will keep me oriented, so that I cannot use my time just to surf on media and watching Instagram reels. I will be oriented that Pihoo, you have to achieve this goal. You have examination on this day, and you have to work for this. So the goal is making me oriented towards it. And the third is engages the member. So it engage each of the member. So if we are working as a team, and we have like 10 people together in a team, and we are working for a particular goal, that's compelling direction, each member should have access of that direction. Each member should have the knowledge of what we are striving for, what we should be oriented for. It's not just like only the leader should have the knowledge, only few of the team members that are amazingly knowledgeable, they should have the knowledge of the goal. No, it should be engaging all the members. In this way, they will feel more satisfied. They will feel more satisfied, and they will be more motivated. And why they will feel more satisfied? Because they will feel included. So if I'm working in a team in which everybody is giving me respect, everybody is appraising me for what I am doing, for my work that I finished, I will be more motivated to do work on that team. Instead, if there is a team which is like they have formed a subgroup, and they are divided in their particular people, like they just sit together and eat lunch, and I'm like excluded, I'll be like, why should I work for this team? They don't want me to be included. So this is really important, to engage each member of your team, regardless of what kind of knowledge he has. Maybe he's not technically sound, but maybe he's a very great asset for a social perspective of the team. Okay. So what should be the characteristic of compelling direction? We discussed about what is compelling direction, how it impacts each member, but what should be the characteristic of compelling direction? So it should be challenging. If the compelling direction, the goal is very lenient, it's very easy to achieve, you will be like, we can do it later. You will start procrastinating, and you'll be like, I'm not very motivated enough for this thing. So it should be challenging, yet it should not be very much challenging. So if the goal is a lot have a lot of complexity, and it's a lot of challenging, then you will feel disheartened, you will be dispirited, you'll be like, nah, I cannot do this, it's out of my league. I really cannot. Even if I work 24/7, I cannot achieve this goal, so I cannot do this. So it should be challenging, yet it shouldn't be that difficult. Second and most important, it should be consequential. What is consequences? So if you are achieving your goal, it should have some consequences for each member. So the consequence can be explicit and implicit. The explicitly consequence means you will get promotion, you will get some kind of bonuses. Your family can get a family tour to Disneyland or anywhere. So you will get vacation after completing that. These things are explicitly reward and they are connected to monetary. But what about the implicit, the intrinsic rewards? So intrinsic reward are more important than extrinsic rewards. People don't think in this way. People think that money can do anything. So if a person complete a goal, I can give him a promotion. But only giving a promotion is not satisfying. He should feel appreciated. He should feel like a sense of meaning inside him that I really did something. He should feel self satisfied. And these are some of the intrinsic rewards that the compelling direction should have. Now, what's the serious problem? And this problem is literally just because the team has changed its complete structure. So before the team was not 4D, but these days the teams were 4D, 4-diamond teams, as I discussed before. So the serious problem is dissimilar background of team members. So we have, as you can see in the picture, so if the person, the last person who is who is in the bottom, he will see something that is completely different. The upper person will see a different scenario. In the same way, even if we have a common goal, each person, because of this diversity, that they are from different background, they're from different culture, the social dissimilarities, it makes them to interpret the goal on their own way. So they are not working for a same goal. They make their own concepts and they started working for those things, and it's really dangerous. For example, this is really my favorite example. So if you're working on a menstrual health hygiene, so your main goal is to spread awareness about menstrual health hygiene. How can different people from different country can interpret this goal differently? So there can be social perspective, like the women, they don't have the access to sanitary methods, and they don't have the awareness of what they are going through, the emotional impact, the physical impact. They don't know about these things, so we should actually aware them about these things. Technological perspective, technology can say that we were using different sanitary methods before. Now we have to do it in a way that it would be more comforting. And the third can be environmental perspective. Few people can say that let's work for the environmental perspective. These days, these sanitary methods, they are really very dangerous for environment. Let's develop something that is more ecological friendly. And these perceptions, they are different because of the diversity. So a person that is coming from, I don't know, I mean, I'm taking the example of my country. So if the person is coming from India, he can think for the social perspective. If a person is coming from Europe, he can think about environmental perspective and technological perspective. It depends. I mean, anyone can think about it. So you got my point, that it is just because of the dissimilar backgrounds that even the goal is same, we think it in a different way. So what is the solution? I want to give another example. So it's a real-time example. There was a company in Norway, and there was a branch of the same company in UK, and they were providing some consumer goods. So the people from Norway, they told people that we have to produce very great quality. So we cannot negotiate with the quality of the product. Even though we have to increase the price of the product, we cannot negotiate with the quality. The same office, the same company, they were constructing the same thing, they were providing the same, they were producing the same consumer goods, but the UK based, they were like, let's do it like even the project work for 75%, work with 75% of efficiency, but it should be less much pricey. So it should be cheaper. So for Norway people, as they are from Norway, so the UN norms are very strict about the quality. So they think completely different in a complete different way. For the same good, they're producing the same good, but uh, their perception of the goal is completely different. One wants a quality and one wants a cheaper product. So how to reduce this disparity? Because we are working as a team. If there will be disparity, we will not have that efficiency. Then those three models, personality, attitude, and behavioral style, they will start disrupting, and the team will fall apart. So what's the solution? The solution is effective communication. Effective communication about what should be the goal. It should be, in case of our menstrual health hygiene, whether it should be social, whether it should be technological, whether it should be environmental. Just jot it down, do a meeting, and do a lot of communication, communicate with them, and after discussion, just make a unique consensus about a particular goal. So stick to a particular goal. The goal should be common for everybody, even the person sitting in Norway, the person sitting in UK, the person sitting in different branches. It doesn't depend on that. The goal should be unique in itself. So what we are going to do, we are going to sit together, we are going to talk, we are going to have a hot session about discussion, and then um, we are going to have a unique consensus about our results, that yes, this is our unique compelling direction. This is very important. How to amend the communication? So I told you that we have to communicate, but how to amend this communication so that it's just not create more ambiguity? It's unambiguous. The communication is very clear. It's not making disputes. It's actually fruitful. And there are 5 points that I want to discuss with you. First is in-person communication over sending text. So people think that if you communicate through telephone, the normal call, it's awkward. It's like you don't feel well. It's better to text them, just email them. So all of us think in that way, just email them, but it's not good. If you really want your communication to be effective, just do it in person or maybe through telephone, because if you're using telephone, if you're picking up the call, you are actually sensing that what the environment is. You are sensing the non-verbal communication. So you can relate to the context. So instead of just sending text, make a call or meet them in person. Do the pre-work for participation. It's very important. So if I say that, oh, we have a meeting, but we don't have a particular agenda, what we are going to discuss that day. We have a meeting, we have to strive for particular goal, but we said that we are going to arrange a meeting, but we don't have a particular agenda of that meeting. So we should say each member to do their pre-work so that they can participate, they can discuss their agenda. Second, the agenda should be concise. So if we are going to strategify about something, we should tell them that we have to strategify about this thing. So if we are getting failure from 3 consecutive months, we can discuss about that thing. So it should be clear that what is the strategy of each meeting. And the third is make a checklist that we did this, that member performed this, that member performed that, and it's very amazing. So make a checklist, appraise them that they did it, and this was in the favor of our project, in the favor of our in the favor of our compelling direction. So strategify your team, do your pre-work, and in this way you will get all the member of the team being involved in your meeting, and they will know that what we are actually working for. Okay. Bond over non-work topic. So it's not important that you should work all the time about work, work, and work. So if you are working as a team, just talk about some non-work topic. Did you watch that movie last time? Did you watch that sport? What about your family? When is your birthday? Just talk about these things. You should make a bonding with them. You are working as a team, and you, if you are more friendly, you will be satisfied, you will be more motivated to work, and in this way you can give more of yourself, and the efficiency will increase. So just don't think that I'm wasting my time talking about non-work thing. Yes, it should be like if 85% of the time you're talking about work thing, then 15% you're just talking about non-work. So it should have some kind of proportion that yes, in this time if you're just going to talk about non-work thing, invite them in tea, invite them for coffee. And next thing that is very important is give and receive appreciation. It's very important. I told you that explicit rewards, they are much less as compared to the implicit reward. And implicit reward, they are the appreciation, that sense of included, that self of satisfaction. So if you give appreciation, like when you say to your colleague, hey, you did an amazing job yesterday, how you did that, and they will be like more satisfied, they will be happy, and they will be like, you are praising them, they really want your praise, and in that way they will be more motivated, and then your team can work more efficiently. And last point, be more authentic at work. What is authentic? You have to be yourself. So if you are thinking some positive thing about a person, just tell them. Use not in a very formal way, in a very informal way. So if you communicate with a person, just use a lot of emojis, use a lot of exclamation marks, use tease them, banter them, make a prank. So not the serious one, but the normal pranks that you can play with your colleagues. At the same time, if you're expressing your positive emotion, you should not let your negative emotion building inside yourself. It will just apart yourself from your teammate. So if you're thinking something negative about a person, just tell them. Just express your negative feeling also. In this way, you will be feeling more psychologically like you are satisfied, and you will feel protected, psychologically protected, and in this way you will be like, I can express the whole range of emotion, even the positive, even the negative. So you should not use very hurtful things, you should watch your language, obviously, but if you are not feeling well about that person, just call them, talk about them as a team or in person. It depends on you. So it's like your family. If you don't like something about your mother and your father, you just tell them, you just talk about it. So you don't have to keep your emotions inside. In this way, your mind will be more free. You will feel more connected to them as a family. Your team will be as a family, and you will be more efficient. So our second foundation, the second pillar, that's strong structure. I use this picture because as you can see that electrons, protons, neutrons, they're completely different. They have completely different personalities, the characteristics in that case. So, but they are bounded together to form an atom, and their identity is like an atom. You say the hydrogen atom. You don't call them as hydrogen electron. No, you call them as hydrogen atom. It's like a team. You are completely different personalities, but you are bounded together through the directional, to the compelling direction, and you work for a team. Your identity is as a team, not as personal, not as alone. Like you're not alone. You are as a team. So the first thing in strong structure is inclusivity. So if you're going to form a team, it's suggestible that you should include a lot of people from different culture, from different society, maybe of different country. So there should be inclusivity. In this way, you will avoid group thinking. What is group thinking? Group thinking is like when they make subgroups among them, and they'll be like, we are more knowledgeable, so we'll be in this group, we will eat together, we will work together, and they will exclude other people. So in this way, you're keeping your team to be subdivided into subgroups, and this is really amazing. So you should choose your team to be diverse. Choose your team members from different culture, from different country, from different technological background. And if the person is shy, just include him. It's not like I told you that it does not depend on personality. If you're literally taking care of these four fundamentals, then your team is going to be best. It's going to be stand out. The second is norms discouraging disruptive behavior and promoting positive dynamics. So there should be particular norms in every team, like you have to come in time, you cannot be late. You should not disrupt. If the person is speaking, you should not disrupt. You will get your time to speak. Let him speak first. So don't disrupt. And the third is the norm can be like, it's very personal thing. Every team can have their own norms. And the third, for example, can be you should not pass comments to the people. You should not pressurize to other team members. So these should be very strict, and these should be the norms that everyone should follow. So if you are a leader, you should follow it. In that way, the team members will also follow it. So these norms, they promote positive dynamics. I told you dynamics. So people will be more familiar, people will have self-satisfaction, people will have more friendly conversation. So they will not have that disruptive behavior. In this way, the norm will work. So the third thing is task and process that are designed optimally. So your task and processes, they should be designed very optimally. For example, if you're working for a team, there are some tasks that are really boring, that are not exciting. So you shouldn't be allotting them to a team. It's not at all practical. You have to do it. You have to give you have to make some team in charge of it. So you have to design your task optimally, whether it's interesting, whether it's boring. You have to optimize it. You have to reshuffle your task. So if the boring task is with some team, then you can reshuffle the task to allot the same task to another team after a while. In this way, there will be communication flow also, and there will be not boredom. The fourth is number of team members. It's very important. We say that number of team members is, the more the team member will be, it will be more beneficial for team. It's true though, because I told you that value addition. So if we are talking about some particular project, more the people, more we will have the ideas, more more constructive and more dispersed ideas. So it's really important to have optimum number of team members, because if you have a lot of team members, they're going to have disputes, and maybe they will not collaborate in a good way. So it's important to have the minimum number of team members that is good for your team. It's not important that you're just filling your team with people, and different people. It's not important. So ask yourself two questions. Ask yourself two questions. First is, when you're extending your team, first, the new person who is going to join our team, what new values he can add to my team? Just ask this question. And the second, if the team is already full and you want to take out some person, so you have to ask yourself a question that which person will be the one who should leave the team because he's not performing in a better way. Even after implementing all four foundations, he's making my team less productive. So you have to ask these two questions before including or excluding a person from a team. I want to give an example here. So it's example time. There was a project to upgrade an urban slum in West Africa. So they thought that we can implement some kind of projects like availing water or sanitization to people, and the people should give us some money for them, for these facilities. So what happened that, as I told you, that the team requires people from different culture, and people that are from the different culture. I mean, the people can be localized. So people from West Africa itself, and the other people that are not from West Africa. So what happened that in this project, the local people, they told that, okay, maybe if we will talk about microfinance. Maybe it will increase the chance of the people of West Africa paying in an easy way for these facilities. These microfinance is like small loans that bank provide in order if the person doesn't have collateral to submit, or is not financially stabilized. So this is something that the local people tell, and how they tell this thing from their experience. They were localites, so they knew that this is the problem. Even if the people want these facilities in their cities and country, but they don't have the money to pay. So they tell the team that we can actually implement this project. This is really beneficial. The second team people that were not localites, they were from different country. They share their experiences that we implemented this thing in our country, and these are the implementation results. These were the pros and cons of implementing this thing, and this is the history from the project that we worked, the similar project that we worked, and from the history you can see that where the project lacked and what implementations, what amendments you require to improve the project. So in this way, this can be a very great asset that you're diverse. You are from local, you are including local people. At the same time, you're including people from different country. I hope the example is clear. What are the negatives of strong structure? I told you what's the strong structure. Let's talk about the negatives. So I told you that if you are going to increase the number of people in your group, it comes with a cost. And that cost is poor communication, fragmentation, and free riding. poor communication is completely clear. It's unambiguous. So if there will be a lot of people, the communication flow will be disrupted. Fragmentation. So they will make different teams. We are more technically sound. We are like a boss. So we will do something that we want to do. They will not collaborate. They will segregate. They will segregate in subgroups. So that's fragmentation. They will be fragmented. Free riding. So free riding is we don't have the we don't have the knowledge that who is doing that thing. So authenticity. We don't have the prior knowledge that okay, this person is making this thing to happen in team, and that's why the team is going down. So this is free riding. Division of workload. As I told you that all work cannot be inspiring and exciting at the same time. Some tasks are very boring. So in that way, the division of workload is very important, and it's a negative because maybe you're dividing your workload only if you are allotting that particular task that is very boring to just a same team, that team will be unmotivated. They will be like, okay, they're just giving us the same task all the time, and it's boring. They don't feel like we are the leaders. They will feel like we are excluded. And the last is this destructive dynamics undermining collaborative efforts. I'll discuss this later on. So what should we do because we are facing these problems? As I told you, include minimum number of people and ask these questions. I've already discussed about these two questions. Repartition the task to increase motivation and hence engagement. So if you are allotting the same task to the same team, you should allot the task, you should repartition the task to different team so that the previous team can get the new work that is more exciting, more refilling, so they will be more motivated towards their work. And the third is set clear norms like no interruption rule, punctuality. So your norms should be very clear that you cannot interrupt if the person is keeping his idea. You should not interrupt in between. The punctuality is important. You should be punctual. Okay. Again, an example time to understand that what I said in the last slide. There was a software company in USA that had a branch in India. So what they usually do that in the morning, the USA people, they built a code, and then at night they send the same code to Indian people so that they can fit their code, the Indian people, the codes that the Indian people have constructed, they can fit the USA people code into their code so that they can see that if two codes are working together efficiently. You know, if we are creating a software, we need a backend developer and a front-end developer. So one of the team is working as a backend and the second is working as a front-end. So the front-end code is actually working with the backend code. So for this, the USA team used to send the code to the Indian team. And Indian team started getting demotivated. They were like, all the time they are sending us, all the time they are sending us their codes, and then we have to fit our code according to their code. So they feel like we are being bossed around. We are just like employee. Our importance, our what we don't have any identity in this company. So they started getting bored. They were very dismotivated, and they were like, okay, even if I write something, they are just and send my code to the USA people code. They're giving me feedback only if my code will have some glitches. So they don't appreciate me when I send them the right code. They only tell me about my fault. So this is the thing that I told you before, that this is the problem of strong structure. And this problem, you've seen that this is the complete example of how we do this. And I told you before that the task here, the Indian team task, is very boring. It's like you just have to check the code if your code is being suited with the code that USA team is sending you. And in this way, they were like, okay, we are just paused around and it's very boring. So it's the complete example of task, the boring task that has been allotted to Indian team. So the what the company did in this case, they reparted, they reshuffled the task. So for 2 months the task was with Indian team, and then for 2 months the task was with USA team. So for 2 months the Indian team was like head, and for 2 months the USA team was like head. So they both started feeling included in team, and they were more self-satisfied, and they started working efficiently. Now the third pillar, supportive content. Let me introduce what is supportive content. Maintain reward system. As I told you that if you are just striving for your goal, you should have some reward system that if you perform this task, then after that you will get this reward. So you should have a particular reward system, explicit rewards, implicit rewards. An educational system. So you will organize some kind of educational camps in which you educate your team members on day-to-day basis with the new technologies that are being launched, the new problems that are being arised, about the case studies. So you can have the educational system. An information system. So information system related to your IT. So maybe if the team is developing a software, you can provide them with the information system that will have all the information about the previous software that has been designed for the same goal. And then security to material resources. Your team should have funding and should have technical assistance, technological assistance. But what's the twist? I think in the directional in the first step and in the second step, I told you that these steps have some negativity. What's the negativity of this step? And that's that we can provide the technical support. Okay, we are providing some support, but it's very difficult for such a geographically distributed team to provide them with same support at the same time, as they are digitally dependent. So maybe in USA the internet is 5G, but in some part of the country they don't even have the access of internet. So they are geographically distributed. How to provide them with the same support at the same time? So it's not cultural difference. So if the team will lack something, if you cannot strive for your goal, you're facing some sort of failure in striving your goal, then you cannot just tell that the other people are not making some effort, not making the proper effort because they are culturally different. No, they don't have the same access of resources that you have. You are blessed, you have the same resources, you have completely different resources. Maybe they don't have much, they don't have better IT facility, they don't have good team, they don't have good funds. So it depends. It's not the cultural clash, it's because of the resources where your team is lacking. Okay, example time again. I really want to exemplify everything because it's really helpful to understand that what I talked in the previous slide. So there was a company that was based in USA, and they were developing a new products for Mexican market. So they were producing, the company was in USA, the company was based in USA, and they were producing the products for Mexican market. So there was a team, there was a company, there was a branch of a company that was in Mexico also. So the manager, he observed that even they are putting their 100% effort, uh, they are not succeeding. They're facing failure for consecutive months. So the manager visited Mexican office, and when he reached there, he was very angry before that. But when he reached there and he saw that the Mexican offices, they don't have the IT facilities as good as the colleagues his colleagues has in his colleagues have in USA office. They don't have the particular team, they don't have good access of funds, they don't have technical supports, they have a lot of glitches in their technical connection. So he was very angry, but then he started admiring them, that even my colleagues have such a great access to all the supports, and they're performing good. I know they're performing good, but these people, they don't have access to anything, but they are performing. And this is really what they are actually doing something. I cannot imagine my colleagues that are sitting in USA performing in the same way. They will start complaining about internet connection, about the AC not working, about everything. They will be like, okay, we are not going to work. So he started appreciating the Mexican office instead of getting angry on them. So there is last foundation that was just because of two corrosive problem. First was us versus them, and the second was communication flow, incomplete information. So what is the problem? So I told you that we are four-diamond team. We are distant, we are diverse, we are digitally communicating. So we don't have access to in-person meetings, and so uh, we cannot tell that what that person really want to say. We cannot interpret the non-verbal communication, and this is because of this, there is a lot of tension and hindrance in collaboration. Because we have a lot of dispute, the communication is not flowing well. It's all digital, it's not in person. So, because of this, we have a lot of tension, and because of tension, we are hindering the collaboration and we are not reaching the goal that we really want to in that efficient way. What is the solution? Foster common identity and common understanding. So tell them that even you are divided, you are sitting in different country, you are from different culture, you have technically different background, you have knowledge that is completely different. The education system of your country was completely different. So even then, you are common. You are sharing a common identity. You are not a person, you are a team. For example, I told you that we don't call the hydrogen electron as hydrogen electron, we call it hydrogen atom. So we have to tell them, we have to build a common understanding in them. The second is shared knowledge is the cornerstone of effective collaboration. So this is the critical problem. When we started doing us versus then, we start keeping things within us. It's like we are competing. We are not striving for same goal. We are competing with each other. And when we see them as our competitors, we don't want to share the information with them. And when there will be the lack of communication flow, then the team will be fall apart. It cannot work. So Example time again. Uh, there was engineering team that was providing software solution for high-end radio communication, and and there was one office in New Jersey, and another office was Texas. So you know that USA is so big, they have different time zones, about 9 or 12, I guess. So New Jersey has completely different time zone, Texas completely different, their accent is different, their social perception is different. So they started taking each other as their rivals. So they were like, we are not going to talk to New Jersey people because we are performing our task, and it's just our task. We completed our task, that's fine. We don't have to build a relationship with the person that is sitting in New Jersey office. And this was creating a problem. So when they went to a meeting of a consumer, there was a customer, their client. So in the restaurant, they were sitting opposite to each other. So the New Jersey team was sitting on different table, and the Texas team was sitting on completely different table. And this bothered manager. He was like, "What is happening? They are same team. They have to strive for same goal. So if they see each other as us versus them, it's like a competition. They will start keeping things. There will be no communication flow." So he was really very bothered. So he thought that we should do something. He called each of them, both of the team, they were sitting together, and then he started appraising the thing that each team did for the completion of the task. So he was appraising the another team, the New Jersey team in front of Texas team. So in this way, they developed a sense of uh, respect for each other, that yes, they did something for the goal. So in this way, they started respecting each other, and the boundaries started melting. After that, he made them to grab coffee together, to share some moments together, like watching some same movie, watching same sport. And he he tried to make them as familiar to each other as possible, because you can work as a team more efficiently if you're more friendly to each other. So if you are just like, he's my colleague, no, you have to be friendly to each other in order to work efficiently in a team. The second thing I told you in before slide, that shared knowledge is the cornerstone of effective collaboration. So first thing, how people start keeping the knowledge, start keeping the information about something is task related. So they don't share that what they did to the people sitting on other office. The second can be they don't share that how they feel about other people. So I want to give an example. There was a Japanese team and the USA team. So the two different offices, but the same team. So they were working for the same goal. So they were a single team, and they started planning. The manager started that we should share the pain, and we should only do video calls at night. So USA people, what they started, they complete their work, they finish their work on time, they go to their home, they have some family time, and then they do their video call on their home inside their room. So they are very what we can say, they are very happy, because they at the same time they can have the time, the valuable time with family, and they are completing their task too. But on the other hand, the Japanese people, they waited till night to they waited the call to finish till night. And for them, they were not satisfied. Why? They were thinking like, we lost our family time, we are just waiting inside this office so that our call can be completed. And they were like, we should complete the call before I miss my last train. So they were very dissatisfied about this. So this share the pain thing, it was working good for USA people, but it wasn't working good for Japanese people. And you can see why. Because the Japanese people, they don't have access to a home, to a room inside the home where they can do video call. Maybe there are a lot of disruptions that they prefer to sit inside the office and take the video call instead of going to home and doing the video call. So in this way, we are not sharing the knowledge about how we are feeling. It's not about tasks, but it's about how we are feeling for other person that is sitting in USA. He will obviously have a very bad relationship with the person sitting in USA, because just because of him he has to share this pain. Okay. So how we have to implement that shared mindset? Ensuring each subgroup feels valued for its contribution toward the team's overall goal. So I told you that you have to praise them, that in front of other people, other team, that the team is same, but other subgroup, that yes, they did something and this was really amazing for our goal. Emphasize that both sub-teams contributed necessary skill and point out that they depended on each other for success. It's very important. Tell them that even if you achieve this task, you cannot have the goal, you cannot strive for the main goal, even if you are working alone. So you have to work as a team, you have to work as a subgroups, but as a team. Open discussion with clear discussion purposes. So there should be open discussions. Open discussions can be like talking about the family, talking about some movie, but the discussion should be proper. The discussion purpose should be clear, that today we are talking about the family. Today we are going to talk about the movie that we watched last night. In this way, we are actually making a friendly relationship with our colleagues, and so that we can work more efficiently as a team. Create shared experiences and common reference point and stories. As I told you before, that you have to have some common reference points and stories to tell, to share with each other, so that they can relate with you. They can have a sense of friendliness with you. Evaluating your team on basis of 3 factors. So I finished all 4 foundations that are really important for a team to work efficiently. And now I'm going to evaluate how you can evaluate that my team, I implemented the 4 foundation, and is my team working well? So you have to see 3 factors. First is output, second is collaborative ability, and third is members' individual development. So the output, your main goal. Are you achieving that main goal on time? You're finishing your main goal before deadline. Collaborative ability, your people, your teammates, they have very friendly relationship. They don't have any rivalry. They don't have any disputes among them. They don't have any negative perception for each other. And the third is members' individual development. It's very important that each member should feel satisfied about itself. So he would be like, okay, I'm really satisfied. I put something in this team and I am the part of this team. How to do that? Light touch monitoring for preventing maintenance. Preventing maintenance means you should not maintaining the relationship, the output all the time. So you have to take some precautions so that you can ignore those, you can keep those maintenance, you can prevent those maintenance. And by this, you can have light touch monitoring. And how you can do that? Every month, rate your team on 4 foundations. So I told you the 4 foundations, those were important, compelling direction and everything. And then just tick mark on these three goals. The before we saw the three factors on which we are evaluating your team. So tick mark that, okay, um, uh, have a survey, like a survey, and tick mark on the four foundation that we are accessing this, we are accessing that, and on the three different goals that we are achieving, that we are evaluating our team on. And then after that, when you will get result, just try to relate them that, okay, this evaluation has least mark, and this four foundation has least marks. So what should we do and how they are interconnected to each other? In this way, you can prevent the maintenance. Deeper checks when problem arises. So if there is some team dispute, if a team member is making some problem, or if your team is started aparting, and the communication started falling down, then you can do deeper checks that where the problem is. And what you have to do, conduct an intervention assessment. So call your people, all the team members, tell them that we are going to have a full scale workshop, and give them some sort of survey to fill. And in that, they can fill all the things that they are falling on, and they are doing it correctly, and they achieved it, or they fall apart because of this. And in this way, you, after receiving the result of your survey, you can make that checklist again, that yes, these are four foundation, these are three evaluation, and check mark that, okay, these things are falling apart, and make a correlation between the foundation and evaluating points, and see that what you can do to make to rectify it. And most of the time, the managers get the low point because of what the evaluation point is lacking, the foundation because of what the evaluation point is lacking, and what they can do to implement it in a good way. So handling difficult conversation at work. I'm almost finished, but I really want to tell you about how to handle different conversation at work, because this is really important. Sometimes you think that he's very senior to me. How can I tell him that he's making our team weak? And maybe you can say that he's very senior from me. I'm just an intern. How can I tell them? First is change your mindset. So instead of telling that you are doing this wrong, or I cannot do this, change your perspective to see it. You can say that instead of directly saying no, you can tell your problem that this was the problem. And then you can tell them that I can do this instead of that. So tell them the solution of the problem, not just, no, I cannot do this. No, just tell them that I cannot do this, but yes, this is the solution of the problem. In this way, our team goal will not be falling apart. We will achieve our team goal, but we are doing it in a different way. Breathe and stay calm. Don't just start talking and have verbal communication, abusing each other, cursing each other. No, just breathe, stay calm, listen to them, that what they are saying. Plant but not script. So if you have to go to your leader, and you have to tell him or her something about something negative, that you didn't do this, you were not able to complete this task, you shouldn't be scripting your everything. You shouldn't be writing everything and mugging up, sitting and mugging up that I have to say this word to word. No, be neutral. Your language should be clear, simple, and be natural. Just so that that person can relate to yourself. He or she can have the idea that yes, he's actually giving me genuine points. It's not something scripted. Acknowledge your counterpart's perspective. So even if your counterpart's perspective is nonsense, I'm just saying to do this, I'm just saying this, maybe you can feel it in that way, that what he's talking about inside your head, you can think in that way, that what the hell he's talking about. But from your face, from your expression, you have to say that yes, I know, I acknowledge your thing, and then you can keep your perspective. And in that way he will not be offended that you actually neglected his perspective, but he will admire you that even he was wrong, you admitted, you acknowledge his perspective, and then you put the right perspective. Be compassionate and don't play the victim. So don't say that, okay, I'm the victim here, you were just the criminal. Okay. Slow down and listen. Don't use words like I hear you while playing with this one. Can you please turn off your microphone? Thank you. So you have to slow down, take breathe, and listen to them, what they are saying. Just don't be like, he's not doing anything that is of you fruitful, that is fruitful for team. So I'm just pretending that I'm listening, but I'm on my phone. So it's insulting that he's saying something, he's telling you something, but you are on your phone all the time, and you're saying, yes, I'm hearing you. No, you're not hearing them. It's insulting. So slow down and listen. Reflect, learn, and grow. So even when you have a discussion and you find yourself that you are the one who made some nonsense point, learn from that thing. Learn from your counterpart. Admit your problem. Admit that you were wrong. There's no problem in admitting that you were wrong. It will make your relationship stronger, that yes, you are admitting that you were wrong. You have that self-awareness inside you. So reflect, learn, and grow. Wait. So I have a thought here. Handling a difficult conversation well is not just a skill, it is an act of courage. So, as I told you, that you have to admit sometime that you were wrong in that communication. And this takes a lot of courage, because you were in front of like 50 or 60 people, and you have to admit that your perspective was wrong. It takes a lot of courage. It's not just a skill, it's a courageous thing to do. So here are references. I used everything related to Harvard Business Review and the examples that I gave you. You can find all the examples. They are real life examples that are conducted through, these are the experiments that are conducted by the people that wrote these things, and these all were the Harvard Business Reviews. These are my contact details. If you want more clarification about this thing, I'm available through these platforms, my email ID, LinkedIn, or Instagram. So you can contact me through these. And I want to say thank you with the thought that success is best when it's shared. So if you are working as a team, your success will be fruitful. Thank you. Thank you for being a very smart audience. So you can ask the question if you have.
All right, guys. So if you have any questions for Pihoo, you can just unmute yourself and ask. Okay, it seems like people understood your presentation. But can you feel free to share also the slides with me so that I can also share with the group for those that
Sure. I can send you the slide. Can you send me your email ID then, so that I can send you the slide?
All right, I'll definitely send you my email address.
Okay.
So guys, any questions? Don't feel shy, just unmute yourself.
Or if you want to share anything about your team story, you worked with a team and that was horrible, and how you managed it. It's open, just share it. Anybody?
Guys, do we have any questions for Pihoo before we allow her to leave?
Oh, they're very smart.
I think they grasped the content. This is amazing that people actually understood what was being discussed.
I'm really obliged. You were such a great audience.
All right, thank you so much, Pihoo, once more for taking time from your busy schedule to interact with us. We are
Thank you
so
so much for
grateful.
having me here.
We're
And
so
giving
grateful here at CDF. And for those that are wondering, this is actually not the first nor the last time that we'll be seeing Pihoo. She'll be joining us in these other training programs that are coming. So for those that are in menstrual health hygiene management, you definitely see more of her because she's passionate about menstrual health hygiene management. So thank you so much, Pihoo. And from us at CDF and everyone, it's good night. So you guys are free to leave the meeting.
Okay, bye-bye. Good night, bye-bye.